Om. 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 Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvadha. Om Saishwaraya Vitmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Saishwaraya Vitmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Saishwaraya Vitmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today for today's study circle session. And so today's study circle is entitled The Power of Contemplation, which will be conducted by Uncle Rajan. And while the study circle is going on, please keep your microphones muted and your videos turned off unless you like to ask a question, and then you can turn on your microphones. Or you can even use the chat function. If you would like to ask a question, you can always put it up on the chat, and we'll make sure that Uncle gets the message. All right. So without wasting any more time, I'll pass it on to Uncle Rajan to take it over from here. Uncle, all yours.
How do I share the screen, Naveen?
Click on the share screen, Uncle, at the bottom.
I don't have it.
Is it there at the top?
No, nothing there.
Okay.
Did you see my screen? No, right?
No. Okay. Sharing, huh?
Uncle, are you in the Zoom screen?
No. Where?
Go to the Zoom application.
Or do I have to sign in again?
No, the call itself. Like, as in you can see like us right now in and
I don't see anything, just okay.
Go to the Zoom application, Uncle.
This is the one. You say sign in.
Okay.
Shall I share it if you want?
But Uncle cannot see anything.
It's easy for me to share, Nari.
Try to sign in, Uncle. Try and see.
Okay, I'll sign in again. Okay, hold on.
Sure. So technical glitch, everyone. So we'll just give it a few minutes, and once we settle this, we will start the session.
Saram, brothers, sisters.
Saram,
Uncle.
Yeah, Saram. Firstly, thank you very much to Swami for giving an opportunity, and thank you very much to all of you for giving me this opportunity to share my experience on this power of contemplation. Before we start, I would like to do a short silent sitting. Please just follow me. Please sit up straight. Close your eyes and just focus on your breath. Just observe your breath in and breath out. Breath in and breath out. Breath in and breath out. Now slowly move towards the center of your heart and listen to the voice within you. Remember, there's always a voice within us trying to guard and guide us. Whenever we need help, doubt, or confused, always seek guidance from the voice within us. Let us now together ask for the help from the voice within us. Please repeat after me silently. Dear Swami, please help us. Please help us. Please help us. Please shower us with all the energy and courage required to face all the challenges in our life positively. Please help us to put into practice the 9 codes of conduct in our life in order for us to constantly aware your presence within us and all the other living beings. Please help us to be the star in your heaven and the flower in your garden in order for us to make our life as your message, dear Swami, our life as your message. Thank you, dear Swami. Thank you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay, Saram Rasa, is it clear?
Yeah, all clear.
Yeah. Okay, I'll move on. Today's my topic going to be power of contemplation. I try my best to take it back where we were before. I used to conduct study circle, I think late 90s and early 2000. I tried to take it back as fast as possible. I'm sure some of you around during that still remember how I used to conduct the study circle. So basically the 3 things I would like to share, the 3 avatars you all know, right? And the three main messages is love all, serve all, help our, hurt never. Why fear when I'm here? I feel this is the most difficult message to put into practice. And then I also like to share always remind Baba's of Sai movement is not a religion, it's a spiritual movement. Don't confuse it religion. What is spiritual movement? If you put a big circle, the spiritual movement, all the other religions becomes part of the spiritual movement. So spirituality should not stop us or block us from progressing. I find many times religion could, because religion is basically doctrine of a guru or something. But for me, spirituality is beyond all the religion. And what is spirituality? Swami basically talks about the 5 values, the truth, to realize who we are, and the peace within us and the love within us. These 3 will bring us to have a right conduct and also the non-violence. So this basically spirituality all about. And if you realize, brothers and sisters, all religions taught the same thing. They all talk about these 5 things. So that's why spirituality is all about. That's why Swami says all religions are same. There's no difference between religions. All you have to do, understand his message and practice it. And this is what Swami says. All of us, when we start moving into the spiritual journey, we all start with a form. We need a form to hold on, and the form with attribute. He says Saguna Sakara Brahman. After that, what happened as we progress, we move from the form to formless. Then what we do, we focus on the attributes. So in our case, Swami was there, his form was there, its attribute was there. Now it's no more there. His physical form is no more there. He's present, but his physical form is no more there. Now we should focus on the attribute. Why? Eventually what you have to do is that we even move beyond the attribute and make our life as his message. That's the most difficult part. What do you mean by that? Swami says we must make our life as love. We are the love. We say we are the love. So we are the energy of love. So we must practice love. This is the most difficult part, brothers and sisters. All of us are going through. Why is love? Because Swami says beautifully, love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. Love is his form. Every particle of him is love. Whatever he breathed out is the truth about what's going on. Who are we about? Truth here, not opposite of lie. Truth is who are we actually. I'll explain later. Then bliss is my food. His food is bliss, means only Ananda is his food. That's all, nothing else. And then he say embodiment love. We all are embodiment love. And how to be his messenger? We all have to be the love he's talking about. And then the 4 famous quotation of Swami, there's only one caste, the caste of humanity. This is one of the biggest issue. And second thing, there's only one religion, religion of love. Again, he talks about love. And then there's only one language heart. This again is one of the reason why we can't progress as we want. And then lastly, there's only one God, is omnipresent. And where is he? Is within our heart. It's not out there, it's within our heart. Okay, now I'm going to move on to today's study circle. I'm going to utilize COVID to explain how we can practice contemplation and the power of contemplation. So I may have given a tool, but we don't realize how powerful this contemplation is. For me, it took many, many years, brothers and sisters, to understand this. After I left Klang Center, many, many years, I'm not conducting study circle, I just involved in service. I started in service, went to the spiritual, came back to service. Then I realized a lot of things going on. One of the reasons is when I used to study circle, I always, Swami says, be, do, and tell, right? It's easy for you to tell, easy for you to do, but it's not easy to be, So that's why I'm struggling very hard to be. That's the most difficult part. Okay, this is a survey I sent to you all. Again, thank you very much for replying. There was the 21 people replied. Out of the 21, 6 says good. 14 say both good and bad, and 1 say bad. My question is why? Swami, we all are Swami's devotees, and Swami says very clearly, even a blade of grass will not move without my will. So why all of us being in the movement, listening to Swami's messages, trying to make, but still our opinions are different. See, 6 says good, 14 say both, and 1 say bad. This is where I'm going to take on. So Swami says the 3 types of devotees, brothers and sisters. The first one, Swami says arti or artha arti. These are the people, Swami say, they only pray when they need something. When in difficulties, artis, the ones come and pray for always the good things to happen. The second, artha arti, means the one always pray for wealth. And in my term, I call it clouds. Why call it clouds? These people won't have a strong faith. They'll move around one place to one place. They see where they can get what they want. And most probably, the bad will fall in this category. Most probably again, most probably. The second part, Swami say jignasu. I call this bubbles. Why I call it bubbles? Because these people are very strong. They're very strong devotions and all that. When some test comes, the bubble bursts, they'll start questioning whether is it right, is it true, is there, all kind of questions. So most probably the boat could fall under this category now. We still question. The last one is crystal. Swami call it jnani. Crystal means they have full faith. They don't care what happened. They always believe and accept whatever happened is for good. And like a crystal, when a crystal is nurtured with faith, it will grow like a beautiful crystal. So this is the difference. So for me, I feel this is the level of our spiritualities are. That's why we are looking at things differently. Okay. Why this happens? That's the question now. Why this happens? This is where the power of contemplation comes. Okay. This is one of the theory I've created, brothers and sisters. The theory is called race. Theory is race. I'm going to explain what is it all about, why we are having a different opinion, like the 3 types of devotees. I created this theory and I call it RACE. This is I used in my teaching. I use for my students in my university. But I'm also applying this in a spiritual world. But in the spiritual, what are we racing for? That's the question. In education, people race for degree, people race for academic career, people race for better job, better salary. Next, in reality, in spiritual, what are we racing for? Actually, we are racing to attain the self-realization. That's the spiritual world. We need to realize ourselves, who we are, and then only we can move on. Like what Swami says, be is messenger. And the question is, a lot of time, these are the modes where you can attain self-realization. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. These are the mode. But most important, what is self-realization? It's the biggest question. We all talk about self-realization. What is self-realization? Self-realization is none other than, Swami says, just to realize we are spiritual being experiencing human life. That's all. We are spiritual being experiencing human life. But what happened? We all thinking we are human being. So that is why we are still bringing back, grounding back ourselves into this earth and try to experience what we are experiencing in earth. We cannot let it go. This is where the self-realization should come, and all this power of contemplation, Swami's teaching, and all should help us to move towards to realize that who we are. We are actually spiritual beings. This is the truth Swami is talking about. Truth. When Swami says truth, she says we are spiritual being. Why? The moment you realize spiritual being, whatever happening in this world, this doesn't matter to you. The material world will not be with you. Nothing will be with you. Only you yourself will be there. Okay. So this is the theory I'm going to raise, which you can apply simply. So what this theory got four alphabets, yeah, R-A-C-E. Yeah. What is R stands for? R stands for read. I call it read because I designed for academic world. In reality, what read means knowing things. Knowing things. How do we know things? We know things through 5 senses. We either see, we either smell, we either taste, we touch, or we hear. Okay, hear, the 5 senses. We know things through 5 senses. But human being, the moment they know something, they must have something to hold on. If not, they will go crazy. They must make sense out of whatever they sense, they feel, and all that. So what we do, after knowing things, we try to analyze and make sense out of it. And how do we analyze? We analyze based on this, the egg diagram of human being, brothers and sisters. Remember, all the being in this world comes from eggs. Either is fertilized in the mother's womb or it's fertilized outside mother's womb. That's only different. So they analyze based on this lower conscious substance. This lower conscious substance will help them to analyze, and they'll make sense of it, and they'll live on at the middle conscious. This is just how they live their life. Okay, so in this case, what happened is when you are just using your lower conscious to analyze and leave for the middle conscious, this is what happens. Okay, this is what happens. And where this where this subconscious substance comes from? It comes from 3 things. One is the previous vasana. We believe in previous vasana. Some of it we bring from the previous birth, because all of us here, because we come to deal because janma karma, we need to clear our karma on this earth. The second one, the biggest one, is childhood conditioning. Childhood conditioning is the strongest one, which forms our subconscious mind. And the third one is the present environment we are living in. So these 3 really mold the subconscious mind in our human being. So in this case, based on this, you can either take whatever you see as positive or negative. If we take it as positive, what will happen? I call sin. Sin means system isn't normal. It creates a lot of negativity in you, and you become not normal. A lot of uneasiness go on in you, and this creates a lot of uneasiness. It's also most of the diseases that have come from here. On the other hand, if you take it positive, it will create a lot of merits problems. It will help you to practice all Swami's messages. But the problem is, this is very much in your subconscious mind. Okay, so that is why sometimes we say good, sometimes we say bad, sometimes we say bad. All this based on the subconscious mind in us, and this is taught very strongly in us. And many times we don't realize this. And one of the difficulties, all of us have our own perception of things. We live on our judgment. Where did judgment come from? From the subconscious mind. Okay, any question? Please skip. Later I'll answer. So what we have to do now? Okay, this is the reason why we are controlled by the external environment. Why? Because we make judgment from the on the external world based on what we know inside. So in childhood time, people say this is a bad, you always think this is bad. If it is good, this is good. This is dangerous, this is dangerous. All these are stored in our subconscious mind. Okay, from my experience, guys, being in the counseling world, brothers and sisters, a full human being grow by the age of 5 to 6. After that, human being don't grow. They either grow sideways or upward. No? They don't grow as a human being. Why? After that, we put them in a box, and we tell them what to do, what not to do. The norm and the not norm, do's and don'ts. So we actually mold them. And this molding I talk about from childhood conditioning is the one create the subconscious mind in me. Okay. So what do we do now? In order for us to move beyond that, beyond the subconscious mind, we have to move beyond the analysis and go to the contemplation stage. What is contemplation? Contemplation means you're moving from this. You're moving from the middle conscious to something called higher conscious. When you contemplate on something continuously, it will take to another higher stage. That is why, from my experience, Swami many times don't talk about meditation. You only talk about silent sitting. Silent sitting is actually one form of contemplation. So we start with concentration, we go to contemplation. To meditate is not really easy, brothers and sisters. To meditate, you must be really oneness with whoever you pray to. You must oneness with the heart within you. It's very difficult. That is why, depending on your vasanas, where you are. So that's why it's difficult for us to meditate, but we can start contemplation. When you start contemplating on something, contemplation, what you will do, you take to the fundamental of the thing. When you go to understand the fundamental of the thing, then you can see that you look things differently instead of you're controlled by the subconscious mind. Okay. So what happens when you go to the higher conscious? This is what happens. The moment you reach the higher conscious means you will be started operating from your heart. You can feel that happiness within you. The happiness will create a lot of positive energy. Remember, I showed the 5 values talked about. The happiness within you will create the energy from you, positive energy, which will be the peace and the love. Peace will give harmony within you. Love will create harmony around you. It will bring a lot of love energy to you. Once you have the energy is positive, your actions will be positive also. So you don't have to worry about right conduct. It will be automatically right conduct, non-violent. So I remember when I first draw the cycle, I put the truth, peace, love, and outside right conduct and non-violent. The first thing you need to understand what is truth. Truth is we are spiritual beings experiencing human dimension. Once understand that, you let go all the attachment, ego, and all in you. Slowly, what will happen? You'll be harmony within yourself. When you harmony with yourself, you'll have peace within you. When you peace within you, the energy flow out from you will be the love. So you'll attract a lot of love energy towards you. Once you have peace and love energy with you, then what will happen? Your actions will be right conduct, and also non-violent. That is what Swami says, we all are embodiment of love. And how to be his messenger? We have to be love. And how to create the love energy? We must have the peace within us. And how to create the peace within us? We must realize that the truth. What is the truth? We are spiritual being experiencing human dimension. Then once your action is positive, your results will be positive. Once the result is positive, every action will create a transformation for you. You will transform slowly towards the self-realization. Okay, like Swami says, life is like the slope of a mountain. You always climb up. Sometimes you may fall, but remember that you have the power to stand on the feet again. Then you move on. And then if not, if you're trying to go quick, you will drop very bad. That's why you need to go slowly. Take time, understand, and move on. Okay, again, Swami say if you listen to your heart, the inner voice I talked about, he said, listen here, that's why beautiful here, listen here, siblings. We can listen. What happened? Most of us listen using the ear. But you must listen, H-E-R, the H stands for heart. You must listen through the heart, not through the ear. A lot of us listen through the ear. Why? We only hear things from external. We don't really hear what is inside us. That's why we need to hear from the heart. And Swami says very beautifully here, if you listen to your heart and use your head, you will never go wrong. Okay? And that's where you will have control over the external environment, because your inner influence becoming very, very strong. Okay, then you have control over it. And this is most probably happening to the 6 people who say good. The 6 people, you know who are you? I'm not being who say bad. So whoever said good most probably falls under this category. Whoever say bad and both and most probably fall in the earlier category. Yeah. Okay, how do I relate to COVID? Okay, COVID, as I said, actually, you look at from the up to the analysis level, it looks not good, because we experience what we experience. We are hearing about what's happening outside. From our experience, previous experience, we experience a lot of things that, all these are bad things happening. But everything at both sides of it. I'm looking at the other side of it. What is COVID actually bringing to us? There are few things here. First one, he tells about the nature. He's telling us that COVID is just a mean, brothers and sisters. There's a message behind it. Everything comes as a mean. We need to look beyond the mean. If you look at read and analyze level, you only look at the mean. You don't look beyond that. In this case, if you contemplate, you'll see the mean beyond that, the awareness. First thing, nature. It shows that the nature is not in harmony. Because if you look at this virus and all that, they need a pest to live on. Now what happened? Because the human greediness, they clear the world, they upset the harmony of the world now. These viruses have no more host to stay on. Most of the animals were killed, jungles were cleared, and etc. Now they have no choice. They use human being as the host. And this is only one of the things we are looking at, brothers. It's just one symptom. But the bigger one, people talking about global warming now. They're telling that the temperature is changing very vastly, and many countries going to sink because of the nature. So this is one of the small things. But COVID is telling us we need to respect nature. We need to learn an harmony with the nature. Second one, it also tells about human ego. Human beings think they can control everything. They think by science and all that they can control everything, but you only can control to certain level. Other than that, you need to believe in the highest self. And the third one, equality. Again, COVID tells us we don't care who you are, white, black, doesn't matter. How rich you are, doesn't matter. We all are equal. Whatever you have, how much money you have. Today, people got money, you don't know what to do with the money. Doesn't matter. You say everybody is safe. I attack everybody in the similar way. But the other side, attachment, it also tells us that we have a lot of attachment. How do we reduce this attachment? All these pains we are facing because the COVID is not caused by the COVID, no. The attachment we are having in the worldly things. Third thing, value. And lastly, most important, brothers and sisters, desire. COVID actually helps us to reduce our desire. Reduce our desire. And this is one of the fundamental teachings Swami have said. In order for you to move towards the self-realization, one of the biggest things you have to do, reduce desire. And COVID actually giving us a lot of opportunity to reduce our desire. Okay, what are the opportunity comes from COVID? Let's ask now. As a Sai devotee, as a follower Baba, what is the opportunity is creating? It's actually creating an opportunity for us to put the 9 code of conduct into practice, brothers and sisters. We have a lot of excuse we cannot do it. Now we can do it because it has created a very good opportunity for us The first one under the 9 code conduct is silent sitting or meditation, right? So this is where the contemplation we're going to put into practice. We're going to contemplate. We have a lot of time now in our hand. Instead of doing, we can start contemplating. Okay, contemplating, so it will help us to see things differently, help us to move from the read level to the subconscious level to the superconscious level. Second one, Swami have given a very good medicine for COVID. You all know what is that, brothers and sisters? Swami already gave us a medicine for COVID. Anybody knows what is that?
Gayatri Mantra.
Gayatri Mantra, thank you. Any other try? Brothers and sisters, Swami has given us a food mantra. Food mantra is actually a medicine for us. Before even you breathe the air, you chant the food mantra. When you wake up, chant the food mantra. Nowadays, when I walk around, I don't chant Gayatri Mantra, I chant food mantra. Food mantra, Swami said very clearly. Whatever goes into your body, either the physical form, whatever form, it will filter, it will protect you. So this is where when challenge comes, we forgot what Swami has given. So food mantra is one of the medicines Swami given to all of us. But we only think about Gayatri Mantra. Food mantra is very, very powerful. You can chant food mantra hundreds, whatever time you want. When you chant food mantra, you're not only cleansing the things coming, you're also cleansing the environment around you. But we are not doing it. Food mantra. Then talks about the third quote. Swami talks about EHV, right? I believe you guys are conducting EHV at the moment, brothers and sisters. This is where you can have EHV within your house. You can have a family EHV. You can learn what are the EHVs, all about a lot of things from EHV. The third one, the fourth one is service. A lot of us, when we are working, we busy, we say we got no time to do service. Again, Swami has given us a lot of time to do service. We can do lot kind of services, a lot of services. I'll just share one example. One of my students was telling, her daughter is only about 12 years old, no? So what the daughter did, she was going through the website. Now she's going through the website. She found out that, you know, there's a place where there's a lot of cats, you know. These cats are now very lonely because nobody visiting them. The cats start falling sick, you know. So the girl asked the owner of the cat person, so how can I help? That guy told her, see, why don't you buy some toys? You are joking to her, no? Why don't you buy some toys for the cats? The cats will be happy. This girl thought it was true. She came back, she Googled, she bought almost like 20 toys, brought it from China, and then she gave it to the cats. True enough, brother and sister, the cats all become happy. The cats like toys, they started playing the toys, they become happy, they forget about people visiting now. So there's many ways to do service, and we can do it from home. We don't have to go out and do. So Swami again gave us an opportunity to do service. And the fourth one, I think, is Sai bhajans. Okay, again, we have a lot of time now to do bhajan. We used to complain, I'm working, I have not enough time to go bhajan, I'm here and now you can do bhajan sitting at home. Like now with this kind of sessions, I'm sure Naveen and the brothers can able to create kind of a back bhajan. No, you can do a bhajan. Also, you can have a family bhajan. Okay. The next one is Sai literature. Again, you have ample of time to read Sai literature now. Earlier, we don't have time. So I may have given us a lot of time to Sai literature. And the other one is speak softly. Now, you don't have many chance to speak already, so don't worry. So automatically, Swami have reduced from speaking. Remember, one of the key thing is Mauna rhythm, right? Swami is teaching now, we should go on to Mauna rhythm. There's an opportunity for us to take the Mauna rhythm instead of chatting and chatting and chatting. And the next one is backbiting. Backbiting also now less opportunity, but I still people Backbite very much. You want WhatsApp love, a phone call, and etc. This is another opportunity for us to so reduce backbiting because we don't see many people. And lastly, most important, brothers and sisters, is COD, ceiling on desire. This is what the biggest opportunity Swami have given. I got a friend who plays tennis with his brothers and sisters. He told me that every year he spent almost like 120,000 on traveling, just traveling holidays. And these past 2 years, he don't know what to do with the money. So it's a lot of people. So these are the opportunities Swami have given for us to put the 9 code of conduct, practice it in our daily life. So if you look at it, opportunity, this is an opportunity for us. It's created this opportunity. I don't know whether we'll get this opportunity in our lifetime. I'm not sure. Okay, once the economy boom, everybody will be busy again, busier than whatever we used to be before. So this is the time for us to really take the opportunity and practice the 9 codes of conduct. Why is very important to practice the 9 codes of conduct? But again, before the brothers and sisters, 9 code conduct is the fundamental. Swami says need to practice. With that only you'll be continuously aware of Swami's presence within us. Without that, we cannot move towards Swami. And how do we move that? We do that. This is where the opportunity is given. And what is the starting point? Starting point is the contemplation. Contemplation. That's why the power of contemplation. What happens when you contemplate? You'll move to the superconscious mind. You'll be able to operate from your heart. When you operate from the heart, you'll be harmony within you. When you're in harmony, what will happen? You will have peace within you. Why we don't have peace? Because the external and internal environment is not in harmony. So once the harmony within us, it will give us the peace, and the energy come out from us will be the love. Once we generate love energy, our actions will be positive, right conscious and right conduct, non-violence and right conduct. Then we'll slowly transform ourselves towards Swami. In order all this to happen, the most important is the faith in Swami. Without faith, we cannot move on. So we have to move to the first type of devotee, which I call the crystal. You must have full faith in Swami and must be able to accept whatever happens is for good. If not, we cannot. We dwindle either way, we cannot move forward. That is why I think I remember this is the first study circle I conducted in Bandar Klang. I shared this. Faith is feel avatar in the heart. Why? The avatar is present in the heart, in the form of voice, in the form of light. It's always there. If you feel that his presence there, and you really feel his presence there, you evoke the presence, and that will take care of you. Okay, you don't have to worry about anything. And why faith is important? Without faith, we'll not able to drive the Swami's 9cc vehicle, the 9 code conduct. The faith is the fundamental for us to drive Swami's 9cc vehicle. If not, you cannot move. And without this vehicle, brothers and sisters, we cannot drive ourselves to the self-realization. We need this vehicle for us to drive towards the self-realization. And what happened? Oh, sorry. This is what happens when you put into practice the 9 codes of conduct. We look at the 5 koshas. The outer kosha is Annamaya kosha. The second kosha is Pranamaya kosha, energy. Third one is Manomaya. The fourth one is Vignamaya, is intellect. The last one is Anandamaya. So when you contemplate and you move towards the superconscious mind, you're actually moving towards the Anandamaya kosha. When you are in the Anandamaya kosha, you will feel the presence of Swami. Why? You will be peace within, because Swami is within you. You can feel it. Then you operate from there. Whatever comes out will be positive, and you will have control over the world. But now what happened? Annamaya kosha is our body, physical body. The second layer is Pranamaya kosha. Most of us are operating from the Pranamaya kosha. So what happened? Pranamaya kosha means energy. The energy around us is actually influencing us. That's why we are influenced by the external things. So if you look at like COVID itself, everybody say COVID is bad, COVID is bad, COVID is bad. The whole energy feels COVID is bad. Then we also automatically sink into it. We also feel COVID is bad because our energy is affected by the environment around us. But we can contemplate, use the 9cc vehicle, drive through the Pranamaya Kosha, drive through the Manamaya Kosha, drive through the Intermaya Kosha, and move to the Anandamaya Kosha. Then you can feel that no, it is not. It is just a virus. But what is the message behind this virus? What is this virus telling to me? Is this an opportunity for me, or is it an obstacle for me? If from the Pranamaya, it will be an obstacle. From the Anandamaya, it will be an opportunity. So this is where the power of contemplation comes, brothers and sisters. It's very difficult for us to meditate until we move towards the inner voice. We continuously contemplate. Once you contemplate, eventually you'll move towards the meditative stage. For me, meditative stage means you already be the Swami's messenger. That means your life is already Swami's message. When you walk past, you are the embodiment of love. But in order for us to reach, we need to go many stages. But the first stages after concentration is contemplation. Okay, then Swami also says, I always ask Swami, I want to be the flower, star in your garden, and star in your heaven and flower in the garden. Okay, this is why I ask Swami always is, with this only, I can be the messenger of Swami. Why flower? Flower got very unique quality, brothers and sisters. Flower smells nice. Flower makes a place beautiful. The moment you bring a flower into a place, the place look very spiritual. Because flower have this special quality. So that is what Swami says. Be the flower in the garden. Why? By you being the flower in the garden, you can influence the people around you with the positive energy, which is the love. And how to be that? I think I shared this for many, many years. I'm going to bring this back again. I'm sure many of you remember this. How to be flower in the garden. Okay, this is why I think many of you remember this. So there is a three, Swami says, being, awareness, and ananda. We must continuously understand who we are. Who are we? We are spiritual being experiencing human dimension. And when continuously contemplate on this, you'll have the awareness, always you feel the presence of Swami within you. Once you have the presence, you'll move towards your heart. You'll have the bliss I'm talking about. Remember the bliss Kosha talking about. So what happens? We as a human being, that's why we must do. In order for us to do this, we have to be ourselves. Be yourself, like the babies. That's why I put a picture of babies. Babies are always themselves. That's why we like baby. Everybody will be attracted to baby. Why? You'll say cute lah, whatever. Because why? They're so pure. They're being themselves. And I remember, I think the last study circle I conducted is about how to be spiritual. And I said very clearly, how to be spiritual. Be yourself is actually being spiritual. Why? Because you are spiritual being. You are not human being. Just be yourself. What we do, we try to please people. Swami said three type people. One, live for others, try to please others. The other one wants others to live for them, dictating. The last one is they being themselves. So in order for it to be spiritual, you have to be yourself, like babies. But what happened? Our job, our role is with being awareness, bliss. We want to attain oneness with Atma. This is the meditative stage you're talking about. But instead of what's going on, we are not. Why? Because the I comes in. What is I? We always think we. I am the one doing. I am the one doing this, doing that. Swami says always, brothers and sisters, we are just a doer. Is the master. He's the one doing everything, not we. What happened when the I? This is why I talked about in the COVID awareness. One of the ego. human being thinks they can do everything. Especially, you see people now, they're creating a lot of things. They're using science to kill the virus. I'm sure can, but it's not going to be so easy. So it's ego. Human being think they got money, they can buy everything. It's not. This virus proving that it's not as easy as you think. No, it takes a lot of effort, energy for this human being to counter this virus. They come out one vaccine, the virus change form. The virus continuously changing forms. So what happened? I-ness comes in, ego develops. Ego develops. When ego develops, Swami says he goes. He goes means not Swami leaves us. He go means we are clouded with our ego. We forgot about the presence of the avatar within us. So we are very much conquered by the Pranamaya Kosha. We live according to the environment we are in. And I always add on says when ego's ghost comes in, you become the ghost. Okay, so this is how, if you want to be the flower in Swami's garden, you need to be yourself. Be just like a baby. Okay, you will be. Babies are there always with us. You can be 5 years old, 10 years old, in 60, 80 years old. You always there's always a baby in us. But we, because our human ego, we try to kill the baby. That is why there's a study shows a lot of grandparents who grow closer with grandchildren are much happier. They have less sickness. You know why? They let go themselves being a baby. They play with the child as a baby. So this is how you can be the flower in Swami's garden. Okay, egos means you create sins. Okay, all this negativity comes in. The sins I talked about earlier. Sins mean system isn't normal. That means your body will not be normal. The moment you create sin, you feel a lot of uneasiness in your body. You won't have the peace. You'll have a lot of issues with your body, headache, whatever I call it, what will come to you. A lot of time things doesn't come from outside, brothers and sisters. We create ourselves. Okay, the second one, how to be the star in Swami's heaven. Why Swami's heaven? Why the star? When you become the star Swami, you become the guiding light for the devotees. How to be the guiding light? You need to make yourself as a message. That means your message, your life must be the message for the people living with you. How to do that? This is where star in God's heaven. This is where I call the thing called we have options in life, brothers and sisters. Either we can be a star or we can be the rats. So we have option. You see the words rats, you turn it around. If I spell R-A-T-S, it's rats. If I spell S-A-T-S, star. We have a choice. If we follow Swami's teaching, we practice the ninefold conduct, we move towards the inner voice, operate the Anandamaya Kosha, you'll be able to move towards being the star. So what will happen? You'll have self-confidence, you'll have thinking power. This is where you bring in your contemplation. Utilize, you don't think using your mind, you think using your heart. And use heart to think. This is actually a contemplation. Okay? Then what happened? Of course, all of us has ambition in life. Then ambition we can achieve through this contemplation. You will continue to rise. Rise where? You rise to achieve the self-realization. But if you don't do that, you're still operating from the mind, which is controlled by a subconscious energy and also things around you. You become the rat. What is rats all about? They'll be self-destructed, timid, awareness. They will continuously be there. Not only they don't grow, they also kill the people around them, not let them grow. Okay. So in conclusion, okay, what is this theory about? This theory helps us to move from read analysis to contemplation level. Why you must do the contemplation level? This higher conscious is connected to the universal conscious. Once it's connected to universal conscious, you see a lot of new things happen to you. You'll find a lot of new things, new feeling, which once you more and more want to move towards the self-realization. Unfortunately, if you're just at the analysis level, you'll be stay at the lower conscious level. Okay. So just to share, brothers and sisters, I've written a small book called Rat to Star. Star is the path towards the realizing of full potential. Star makes the present felt leave behind a legacy. So everyone, a star should have leave behind a legacy. It doesn't matter big or small. Because when you leave behind legacy, that's what people are going to follow. A lot of people who left this world and they leave behind legacy. People remember them for the legacy. So if anybody interested, please contact me. I can give you a copy of this book. It's a very simple book, a lot of subtle message, but if you keep reading it, if you read it one time, you might not understand. You read few times, you'll understand. The design of cover is, brothers and sisters, there's a rat here. What happened? This rat disappeared and became the star. So life, we have a choice to be the star or rat. We can be a rat or we want to be the star in God's heaven. Okay. With that, that's how I end my study circle. But again, the power of contemplation is very, very crucial. And that is the start for our 9cc vehicle. Once you don't start the 9cc vehicle, Swami's 9cc vehicle, if we don't start driving this vehicle, brothers and sisters, we cannot attain the self-realization Swami is talking about. And I also remember, I think the brothers in Klang Center, I think spend a lot of time trying to conduct a lot of sessions and all that. I think nine code of conduct. I hope it's going on. I'm not sure what's happened. Okay. With that, I've completed my studies. If there are any questions now, I'll answer, brothers. I'll try my best to answer.
Sathya Magarajan, thank you very much for the session. So if anyone's got any questions, please feel free to ask now. You can unmute your microphone and ask your question, or if you're shy to speak, you can type in the chat box as well. Or if you have anything to share as well, you can please feel free to share as well. So any questions?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Thanks, Naveen. I think feel free to share. I think this is more like sharing experience. That's most important. If anything resonated in you, please feel free to share.
Rajan.
Yes.
I like that you told about the food mantra.
Sister Sudha, is it?
Yeah.
Thank you, sister. How are you?
Fine.
Okay.
No, the thing is that I never expected that, because we always tell prayers or Gayatri mantra is there. That is the mantra Bhagavan gave us and all that. But it's very nice that you talked about the food mantra. So so happy that for that.
Hey, sister, you're right. See, food is not just the solid food we take. The air we breathe in is also food. So if you go to that level, you chant the food mantra, every air you breathe in is cleansed.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you, brother.
Don't be shy. There's no silly question. Please feel free to ask.
Anybody else with any other questions? We still have time.
Sairam.
Sairam.
This brother Ridash here, Sairam brother. I just would like to inquire. Listening to Swami's satsang or any other spiritual satsang, it's can I put it in under the Sai, listening to Sai literature? Can you consider in a part of that?
Brother, how do you specify spiritual satsang?
Spiritual satsang means like, for instance,
how do you call a satsang spiritual and non-spiritual?
How you say spiritual satsang is spiritual? For instance, those spiritual leaders, I consider those spiritual leaders, even like Swami or any other spiritual leaders who have given any some type of a motivation or some type of positive knowledge. I consider that as it's something that that can be beneficial, especially for me lah. So I like to listen to that. So I'm not sure that is a part of the 9 codes. So now can I?
Yes. Let me Brother Haridas, right?
Yes.
Brother Haridas, this is where you go back to the theory of race I talked about, right? So based on the analysis, based on your subconscious mind, you decide what is spiritual, what is not spiritual, correct?
Correct.
This is where sometimes a lot of Swamijis give you a message and all that. Don't take the message for the sake of message. You know, you need to contemplate and see what is the message is all about. What is the message for? Don't just take it and just practice it. This is what happens to many of us. That is why sometimes you see we confuse. One time Swami will say, speak the truth. Another time he say, speak the truth when it's necessary. Things like that. So you must understand. That is why a lot of time we make judgment based on our subconscious mind. So you must go beyond and ask yourself, what is spiritual is all about. A spiritual means something gives us maybe a positive energy, makes people around us positive. So you have some kind of a positive energy create, then maybe for me spiritual. And one more thing, brothers and sisters, just careful. Like Swami says many times, when we move on, remember the big circle I put, spirituality and then lot of religious, lot of gurus within there. All of us are talking almost the same thing in different manner. But sometimes you take their message directly, they will be the biggest block for your self-realization. That is why you must go beyond that, take the message, contemplate and really see what is the message is all about. This is why I still remember what I said, that Tigret said very beautifully. When Swami went away, he said, one of the biggest Maya gone for him because he can move away because he was so much attached to Swami's body. So that answers you, Brother Haridas. If you think spiritual, if you think, how do you know spiritual? When you read the word, it will give you a lot of positive energy. Why positive energy? Because positive energy will give you the peace within. If not, you cannot get a peace within. If you get a lot of peace within you, then I'll consider as a spiritual and positive. And spiritual means must cover the 5 values Swami is talking about, brother.
Okay, got it, brother.
Okay, thanks a lot. Very good question. Thanks a lot. Any other questions, brothers, sisters?
Sarah, Uncle, there's one question in the chat box by Mother. So she asks, how do we use our heart to think and not our mind? How can we be sure that we are thinking using our heart?
It's a very difficult question, but lots of time, brothers and sisters, if you use your heart, whatever you do, you will feel very peaceful. If you use your mind sometime, lots of time mind will tell you. Sometimes you see a lot of time, I don't know, I've experienced many times, something I want to do, there's some kind of instinct will tell, don't do. But I'll go and do after that, I'll regret. So lots of time, the difficulty we all have, we are strongly mind-centered. So we always try influenced by mind, So slowly what we must do is that we don't get enough time to really contemplate before we're doing something. Because why? We are so into the world where we become so mechanical. We just want to do without even take a pause and think about it. For me, the only way I'll know whether I'm doing from the heart or from the mind, when I do something from the heart, I'll always feel very happy after that. But if you do something from mind, it won't be the same as the one I do it from my heart. That's how. My heart will tell me whether I'm doing from my heart or not.
Clear, actually.
Did that answers your question, Sister Nirmala?
Sairam, brother.
Yeah.
But at times it's so difficult to, come to a decision, a conclusion, like now, for instance, like taking the vaccine.
Yes.
I really don't know. I feel like I don't want, in the beginning, actually, I don't want to take the vaccine.
Yeah.
But it's because of the community, we feel we have to oblige and, go ahead and take it. But my heart says not necessary, because I feel that whatever is going to happen, let it happen. Swami is there to take care of everything, whether it's good or bad, whatever it is. So I really don't know now how am I to know which is speaking, whether it's my mind or my heart.
So your choice is whether you want to follow your heart, your mind. This is where contemplation, really contemplate. Think through, don't rush. Think through, sit quietly, keep ask Swami. Swami will give you every answer. Ask Swami, what should I do? This is where contemplation. Ask Swami, what should I do? Because, because sister, there's already something tells you you are not unhappy by taking the vaccine. See, no? There's a lot of people don't bother, no, they just go and take vaccine, no. But you already started thinking, and you feel that Swami will be there. If you really contemplate and really feel that Swami is there, well, I'll follow my heart. Whatever happen, going to happen, sister. You surrender to Swami, whatever going to happen, happen. Your karma says, I have to go through, I will go through. The karma says, Swami will save me, Swami will save you. So you are surrendering to Swami.
Yes. Yeah, actually, the thing is sometimes, people around the way, it's so difficult to, when they say you're not taking the vaccine, they're giving a look like as though I'm doing a big sin.
Okay, sister, let me share something.
I have to be strong enough to make my own decision, brother. Yeah, I understand. Thank you very much.
Let me share you something. Okay, let me share you something. I didn't want to share this, but I'll share this. You see, Sridhar, can you see the red words down there? Ridicule, criticism, acceptance, and worship.
Yes, brother.
Whenever we want to be different, sister, always people ridicule us. Because they think we are weird, we are this and all that. But if you continuously, if your faith is so strong, you continue with what you feel is slowly they'll start criticizing, ridicule, go to criticism, eventually they'll accept, if you continue, they'll worship you. This is what you might be going through. You'll be at this level where you're so worried about people ridicule and criticize you. But if your heart says, no, I already surrendered to Swami. Okay? In the contemplation, Swami says, take. That means I get a voice within from Swami. It's all how much faith you have. The second question is, what will happen if I don't take the vaccine? Am I ready to face whatever? Because I already surrendered to Swami. Is that answers your question, sister?
Yes.
Lots of time, that's why
actually, I know it in my heart, but to go ahead and do it, it's
because everything. This is one of the difficulties. We are in a society where very difficult to be ourselves, the baby I'm talking about, very difficult. You try to be bitter, people ridicule and criticize you.
Sairam, Brother Rajan.
Yes.
This is Sister Chitra here.
Yeah, sister, how are you?
I'm good, brother. Thank you.
Okay.
You see, at the beginning, there was a survey about, how when we are operating from different levels, we take this COVID as something good, bad, or both. For those who have lost a loved one, this COVID has become a nightmare for them. It's a tragedy in their life.
Definitely.
Yes. So at that point of time, you are not going to be able to operate from the jnani level.
Why not, sister? I'm not saying not. You see, that is why it says, sister, I know it's a painful experience. But you must realize, sister, when somebody born, they already chopped to die. It just matter how they die.
Okay.
I give an example. Swami said this, a mason went to see the doctor, and the doctor told the person, you got 5 more years to live, So the person came back on one side of the coin. That person feel very upset, make everybody life so miserable. Everybody make miserable. No. On the other side, one person, what he did, he came back, he tell thanks to the doctor and say that thank you very much for giving me the 5 years. I want to do everything I can do. It's again what I'm trying to say is the perception system. A moment being, that's why I always pray. I pray instead of birth certificate, when we born, God gives us death certificate. No? Then we all know how long we're going to live. We can plan our life well. Unfortunately, God gave us birth certificate. So this just every one of us going to die. Depend when and how, that's all. So we are so much, because we attach to the person, we cannot take it. It's not, I'm not telling pain or what. No, it is pain, but it's just how it happened. And you can ask yourself, why all the things this person have to go in this manner? So again, it goes back to our perception in life.
Okay. But it was very painful because
Definitely.
It happened to my cousin's husband. And since she was also on home quarantine, she was not even able to be there when, they did the last rites.
Correct.
So it's terrible.
Yes. My message is, sister, I'm not saying that no pain, definitely pain. We'll go through the pain. After that, contemplate and see what we can do, move on further. Why it happens. There's a reason for it, everything. Swami have says, nothing moves without his will, right? And he says very clearly, brothers and sisters, he knows our past, present, and future. So we only looking at present, or we don't know what's going to happen in the future. No, we don't know, but he knows everything. We believe in him. If we let it happen, that means something. Again, another thing is, brothers and sisters, there's 3 types of karmas. One is the Sanchita karma. Sanchita karma. Sanchita karma is the one we bring from the previous birth to this birth. Prarabdha karmas we have to clear in this birth, And then the last one is agami karma, which going to take to next birth. See, people get together when they put together as husband, wife, children, and all that. They cannot live forever. No. Once their karma together finish, they will go. That's why sometimes you see a child comes to a family, die at the age of very young, 5 years old, 6 years, 7 years old. So this again, the act of karma. No? And how they go is all depends on what their karma is all about. Again, as I say, it's easy for me to say, but this is how we look at from the spiritual point. So it happens, but again, as I say, the pain, but now we have to move on and accept it. This is what's happening. And the question is, why that person, the million of people? It is pain. I agree with you, it's a pain.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Uncle, I think there's one more question that we can take. It's from Ani. It's a bit long. I'll just simplify it a bit.
Okay.
He asks that instead of sending COVID to warn humans, and as a result, people and loved ones are dying, why not just appear in the sky to warn people? And all these indirect warnings just put God in the bad light.
Can you read again?
Yeah, so instead of sending COVID to warn humans, and as a result, people and loved ones are dying, why can't God just appear in the sky and warn people, all 7 billion people? Why can't he just warn us and tell us to be good? So all these indirect warnings just put God in the bad light. So that is what Uncle Mani is asking.
Okay, the answer is, brothers and sisters, God don't do anything. It's all created by human being because of their ego. God have always give us a message, don't do, but people are ego. You look at, don't go far. You look at Penang, guys. People got so many houses, still they go and buy new houses, cutting the tree, reclaiming land and all that. God didn't ask us to do that, no. And God has given us many messages to many natural disasters. Are we learning? We are not. And all these are created by human beings, no. God don't create anything. We create our own things. It's not God not giving us a message. He gave us message in various forms. But because our ego, we think we ignore all that. And who created this virus? And why this virus is active now? Because the changes in the environment, changes in the harmony of the environment, the temperature rises. A lot of bacteria, virus were dormant before, because they have a host, maybe they live on other animals. The animals are killed now. That the temperature change. Bacteria, virus used to be very inactive, now become active. Because why? The temperature is suitable for them. All these are done by human being. And God is always within you, no? God is not out there in the sky or what. God is within you. He always tell you every moment, you do any mistake, he tells you you are wrong. It's just we refuse to listen. I'm very sure, brother, anything you do, sometimes you do wrong, you will know automatically you are wrong. So God is not in the sky, God is within us. He keep telling and telling. But human being becomes so egoistic, we refuse to listen. We even manipulate God now. And today you see, religion supposed to bring peace to the world. What is create? Like Swami say, create pieces. Why? Because of human ego. And the world is suffering because of COVID. You look at what China, Russia, America are fighting. They are fighting for other things, not even bothered about the COVID. So our answer to the question is, God never brings anything. God is not in the sky. God is within us. He's trying to tell us every time it's wrong and wrong. Because of human ego, human don't listen. Human create all this destruction by themselves. The 5 elements we are made of, brother, starting with space, air, water, space, air, fire, water, and earth. The 5 elements. These 5 elements actually builds us. They are actually our friends, But what happened? We don't respect them. It will become the enemy and kill us. So this is what happening. God has given us an intellect. God has given us a heart to think through, but we don't use all that. The ego is so strong. We go and destroy everything. When something happens, we blame God. I hope that answers your question. God is not in the sky. God is within you. Every moment is telling us that whether you are right or not. Like what sisters, now how do you now operate from the heart? If you operate from the heart, you will be happy and peaceful. If you're not, you're doing something not right, you will be very uneasy. That's why the sins I'm talking about. System isn't, your body automatically won't be normal. You will know that you are doing something not right. And most of this all happen because human greed. Now that's Swami calls that the clever devils, the developed countries. They are the cause of all this. So greedy, they're destroying everything on the earth. I hope that answers your question, brother.
No, it does not, and I disagree with everything you said, Brother Rajan.
Okay, fine. Just again, it agrees up to you. Okay, no worries.
With all due respect, the thing is that you keep saying we. You must separate the people who do not damage earth and the people who damage earth in every sense of the word. Then you speak about, those who are doing good. And what about the people who are doing bad to Mother Earth? So they should be punished. Why punish everyone?
That's why I'm telling you, brother, that's why I'm telling you. Only Swami knows the past, future, and present. What you are paying is your karma. How do you know who's good, who's bad? We don't know.
We can go on debating about this. I can
correct. You stay with your opinion. I stay with
at the end of the day, we need to be practical about it,
Okay, fine. I have no problem with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, is basically our karma we have to go through now. Thank you, brother. Thank you for sharing. No problem.
Oh, no worries. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Uncle Rajan, and everyone who asked questions. Thank you for participating in the session today. Uncle Rajan, any closing remarks to end the session?
Again, I thank very much to everyone for especially providing me this opportunity, especially Swami. At least I have an opportunity to see you guys back, talk to you guys. The topic and all that comes and go, we read and all that. But again, the most important is coming back to our original family and being with you all, sharing is the most important for me. Nobody is right, nobody is wrong. Whatever is good, we take it. We move on in life. That's most important. So for me, the most important is getting back to the family which used to be there before. With that, I think please stay safe and take care because I think lockdown is coming 1st of June. So we pray together, we keep ourselves positive and move on with whatever opportunities created by the COVID. With that, thank you very much, Naveen, and every one of you for giving opportunity, for listening to me, also asking me for the questions. And I've shared my abilities, and the rest I leave it to Swami. Okay.
Thank you very much, Uncle.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Uncle Sairam.
Thanks everyone for being here. Let's end with a prayer first before we leave.
Yeah.
So let's just end with our usual Shanti and Samastaloka. Om Shanti 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 Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Okay, Sairam, and thank you very much.
Sairam, Uncle. Sairam, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us.